On these two commandments, the law depends. Very interesting point in our gospel today. It is a point that is often overlooked. That Jesus, who is the fulfillment of the Old Testament, the fulfillment of Hebrew tradition, gives to those who follow him new commandments. But instead of the 10, there are but 2. When you look back at Jewish history and the history of the Hebrew people, you see that they have been a contentious people. The very term Israel means struggles with God. Yet God rescued them out of their bondage in Egypt. And in their travels, he gave them 10 commandments upon which to base their daily living. And all of us know those 10 commandments. All of us grew up trying to live to those 10 commandments. But then as you look at the other books of the Hebrew scriptures, you see that those commandments started to be refined. They started to be defined. And so by the time you finish going through the first couple of books, there are hundreds of laws associated with those commandments. And not all of them are good. Let me give you an example. Let me talk to the ladies first. Have you ever worn slacks?
Yeah, all the time.
You're imitating a man. That's against those commandments. Okay? Let me talk to the men. Do you ever cut your hair? No. Against the commandments. You can take those commandments and they can be so chopped up that they became meaningless. And we come along here to Jesus, who fulfills those commandments, gives us 2. Love God with your whole body, your whole spirit, your whole mind, and your neighbor as yourself. On those 2 small commandments, everything else is to be built. And so when you hear in the first reading, we're supposed to be treating the foreigner, the alien, with respect. We're not supposed to be gouging our neighbors with interest when we loan them money. We're not supposed to be doing any of those things. Yet, when you see the way we have interpreted Christianity, there are a lot of places that aren't too hospitable to the foreigner, to the stranger. There are those that, while it's legal today to charge 22 and 30% interest on something, back just as late as the 1930s, that was loan sharking. People can't get out of those kind of debt situations. And so the gospel message to us is that as we today look at our society, what are we doing with our laws, with our way of living, that help meet these 2 commands? One spiritual, but one very much in touch with our friends and neighbors and families and those that are coming around us as strangers. It gives us pause this week as we consider many weighty issues that come before us as voters in the next couple of weeks. Of how do we apply gospel values? It's a heavy decision. because you have to look at what Christ calls us to do and to be. Then you have to look to see not what the talking heads and television ads are telling you, but actual written proposals from the various candidates. And try to choose the person or the issue that best meets those needs of the gospel values, which shows forth love of neighbor as well as love of self. These great commandments are to guide our lives spiritually with God and temporally with those around us.